Baby Show, episode 2.
Yay, we came up with a name. Good Baby, duh.
The Good Baby Show.
Right in front of us the whole time.
In plain sight.
Plain sight. So it's Saturday, and here we are. What should we start with a quick, what do we have in store today on the Good Baby Show?
We'll start with the week in review.
We have a week in review. We're going to have a spice draft.
We'll do the spice draft.
You can see this lovely arrangement laid out.
We got some questions, some audience questions, our first one. And if we have time, we'll get into a couple other things. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So let's get on with it. So this is Lila, and probably the major thing that happened this week. If you're wondering why she's wearing a sock on her hand, what happened?
We had our first little baby injury.
She got injured.
She's okay.
She cut her finger. There was a lot of blood. I was freaking out. I thought we were going to have to take her to the emergency room and get a stitch. It turned out to be...
Dad was cool and calm and collective, though.
He says he was cool and calm and collective, but his face turned ghost white. He started sweating, and the only other time I'd seen that happen was in the delivery room right before Lila was born, when he passed out.
Well, no, I didn't pass out.
They needed to take him
almost passed out.
Okay.
But again, I remained cool and calm and collective.
And everyone was laughing at you, and they needed to take you out in the hallway to feed you graham crackers and juice before you were allowed back in the room.
Well, it's because I alerted the nurse that I thought there might have been an issue before things really got out of control.
Everyone was saying that you didn't look so good.
You know what they said? They said I was welcome back. I could be a stand-in husband for any delivery from here on out because I did such a good job at letting them know I was about to pass out on the floor.
Well, he went ghostly again last night, and I was, not going to have it if he passed out on me.
We had there's a little lamp above the changing table, and I was holding Lila standing, and she reached out, and there's a lip on the lamp. She got her finger caught and then cut it. And then I was holding her, and then I saw this blood on my arm. And then that wasn't very fun. And we were just going, where the hell is that coming from?
Yeah, it was all over his shirt. It was terrifying.
Looking at her face, like was her nose bleeding or something? And then it was coming from her fingers. And
yeah, so I proceeded to call an emergency nurse, every fireman I knew, my parents, several contacts, and then everyone was like,
we put some pressure on it.
Put a pressure on it.
Bleeding
stopped the bleeding and put a bandage on it. And that's what we did. And so now she's got a little sock because she keeps trying to bite it off.
That was our excitement for the week.
That was the highlight of the week. Like, not much else really went down this week.
Yeah. That was the fun this week.
Yeah. Oh, except for
and then just to end, like just kind of the end of the night, and then we're kind of sitting around figuring out what to do, chomping on some pizza that's going off in the oven, and then I kind of go like after everything's kind of settled down finally, and I go in the bathroom. I just got blood on my neck and my shirt. And you know what? I didn't even wipe it out. I just went out and had some ice cream because I figured, what the heck? Because I gotta have this ice cream that I've been this Halo Top I've been fiending all week. Got a special delivery from Whole Foods.
Yeah, that was my idea.
Get this Halo Top ice cream.
Homemade ice cream sandwiches with chocolate chip cookies and ice cream. Yeah, so basically our daughter was in the middle of a crisis and he was sucking down ice cream and cookies and it was going out of step. I think
on the airplane, like put your mask on first so you can help other people. Like I'm no good to you guys.
I think you're one of those nervous eaters, like people that eat when they're nervous. Because I was like, should we take her to the emergency room? And he was like, let me eat some pizza first.
Well, no, that's not. If we're gonna go to the emergency room, it's all the way up at UW. That's a round trip, 3-hour debacle if we get in and out right away.
No, I think it's that you knew you were gonna faint again if you didn't get a bite.
I said, there's no sense in us. We don't need to rush out the door. We could take an extra 6.5 minutes and eat this delicious pizza sitting right here.
So you proceeded to inhale 4 pieces of pizza.
No, I didn't. 3 of a small little thing, like half a tombstone pie.
And I said, no, let's just go now. I can't eat.
Yeah, which was, that was
turned out it was a good little detour to eat a little bit of pizza first. Because by the time we calmed down, we realized that we did not need to take her to the emergency room because they would probably just put a Band-Aid on it and tell us to go back home.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what should we do?
So Dad was cool and calm, collective is, I think, the ultimate takeaway. But
yeah, if you count ghostly white,
than
sweating profusely,
look, I'm not good around.
I'm
not good around blood. Okay, I'm not good around blood.
Okay.
But we definitely should keep some more graham crackers on hand, just if this is going to be a thing with kids. But anyway, should we get into the spice draft we were talking about last week?
Yeah.
All right. So people who are listening at home, you can't see, but on the table right in front of us, I've lined up basically the top 10 most important spices in the spice cabinet. And we're going to do a draft, okay? We're going to do a draft, and we're each going to go taking turns picking spices for our respective teams. And then I figured we'll go the next week. You're not allowed to use the other person's spices. How's that sound?
The whole week?
I don't know.
You gotta be kidding me.
All right, we'll probably...
One day.
All right, we'll just do a theoretical because honestly, I know...
Actually, it really depends on how this plays out. If I get the spices I want, I'll be fine going a week. But if somehow you get your mitts on my spice, I can't do that.
So let's do...
So who goes first?
Well, first of all, why don't you read off just in order the spices that I got lined up here for people who are listening.
Okay.
All right,
We got oregano, Trader Joe's chili lime seasoning blend, chili powder, salt, everything but the bagel sesame seed blend, garlic powder, Vietnamese cinnamon, turmeric,
Lila's favorite.
turmeric, Montreal steak salt, black pepper, and ginger.
And?
And red pepper flakes at the end there.
Yeah, they're in a little ghetto plastic Tupperware from the pizza place.
Yeah.
That we've been keeping on hand.
Been hoarding those for months.
So, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Great.
Now, we'll do a draft. Okay. Now, what I figure we'll do to see who goes first, right, is I'll hold up one or two, you close your eyes and I'll hold up one or two fingers and then you try to guess, and whichever one you get.
Okay.
Guess.
1. It was 1.
Shit.
Which means I go first.
Shit. Damn it.
Yes. Although I feel like you got some sort of weird strategy. Salt. I'm taking the salt.
Take it. Put it on your side. All right. I'm taking the garlic.
I knew you were going to take that. Let's see. There's some very important spices here. Like, the one that I use daily or the one that's got more, like, benefits out of it? I'm going to go with the turmeric. Because it's got health benefits in it. And it, like, reduces inflammation and, like, cures cancer or helps, reduce your risk.
Well, while you're curing cancer,
it
I'm
reduces your
going
risk.
with everything but the bagel sesame blend, the dark horse
Good
sleeper.
for you. I don't really like that one that much.
Shit, I should have waited on that. Damn it.
You already got garlic, and that's got a bunch of garlic in it, too. You got
waited.
two of the same
That was stupid.
thing.
I should have held out. I knew you weren't going to pick that one.
That was dumb.
Shit.
Next, I'm going for the cinnamon. Because I got to have the cinnamon in my oats every morning. I got my gluten-free oatmeal I have every morning, and I love having cinnamon and banana and nuts, so I got to have my cinnamon.
I'm going Montreal steak seasoning.
Great. I only use that on one thing, steak.
Get out of here.
Next,
You're
here,
up.
you take Lila.
It's my little spice.
The little spice. The next, I like to have speaking of spice, a little bit of hot. So I'm taking the red pepper flakes for the pizza night. I gotta have these on my pizza.
Shit.
Okay. I'm really liking how I'm coming out in this
All right.
draft.
You know what?
You got another one that's got like a bunch of garlic in it. The Montreal steak.
Whatever.
You got
gotta be
garlic, and more.
I gotta be honest. The rest of these spices were just decoys. I don't want any of them really, but I'll just do a quick. They were just distracting you from the garlic.
What do you have?
That was basically. Oh, honey. Those spices were just to distract you from taking the garlic. that was what they were for.
Well,
but I don't even use the other
guess
stuff.
what?
I'll take pepper.
Salt. Oh, that was what I was gonna take.
Finally, I just wanted to get you mad at something.
Okay, well then I'll take the chili powder because that's always good. It flavors a lot of stuff.
All right, I'm gonna go with the chili lime seasoning.
I just don't like that as
We
much
never even
as
use it.
regular chili powder.
That was just a decoy.
Like oregano or ginger. I don't really know what oregano goes on, so I'm gonna go with ginger. I know people think pasta goes with oregano, but no, not as true Italians do not use oregano.
I don't even know what oregano was. It was just a distraction. I was there to try to thwart you.
Ginger, you could probably use this in tea. And,
okay, so let me just say, let's analyze this draft right now. I went into this with a little bit of a... Now, where I screwed up was the everything spice way too early because I knew you weren't going to take that. But I think...
Let's see what's in the everything spice. Garlic and onion.
Sea salt, garlic. Sea salt, garlic, and onion.
What else is in here?
This is the thing.
Garlic.
But I got to tell you.
Oh, yep, it says salt, garlic,
Yeah,
black
it's
pepper,
delicious.
and onion.
It's delicious.
So you got salt, garlic, black pepper, and onion. Salt, garlic, black pepper, and onion.
Yeah.
This has salt and garlic and
Salt and garlic.
more garlic
Yeah.
and more pepper and oregano, which is pretty much worthless.
Oregano's throwaway. Well, I'll tell you what
I
happened.
like, okay, we can stick to these for a week. I'm happy with it.
Are you really?
Yeah.
This is tremendous.
I could do with just these for a week.
Well, I guess this is a good draft because we're both extremely happy with how it ended up.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I was hoping for a little more conflict, but I gotta say,
Salt, turmeric, cinnamon,
salt.
hot pepper flakes,
See?
chili powder, and ginger. I mean, that combined all this together, and
what are you gonna do about garlic? You don't have any garlic.
Well, I'll just use some, hot pepper flakes and like turmeric and chili powder to flavor it up instead.
I see. I knew you were gonna go
I
with
need
this.
to get her a little bounce-a-boo and put her in that.
Let's do that. We'll get her a little.
Loud.
All right, here you take her. I knew you were gonna take the salt first, which to me,
I gotta have my salt.
there's other things with salt and garlic, so I went with
she's
that.
okay.
All right, let's hold on for a second. Well, that's the spice draft, and
Okay.
I think ultimately,
Bless you.
I'm calling it a win because I ended up with the garlic and the everything but the bagel seasoning. I think yours
looks like a load of bad breath to me.
Yeah, I know.
Mine are all like
rank
very
as hell.
like healing,
You got
healthy,
turmeric, ginger,
nutrient dense
cinnamon,
spices.
and mine's garlic, everything bagel, Montreal grill steak, chili lime seasoning, and then a little pepper, and I don't know what the hell this thing is, but
that looks like a bad bunch. I would not have picked all that. Basically, one of those would have done the same as all of those.
Look, I wanted to win the spice draft, which I feel like I did, but I also wanted to win in a way that made you feel like you lost. But you
Should we
feel
tell
like you
them
won
about
as well.
all the fish you bought this week? Is that why you got the everything bagel spice so you could load up? I unpacked the groceries and there were 3 packs of raw smoked salmon.
They're very small. They're very small. I like to have a little bit each day. Okay, I'm a Jew. What do you want from me? But it's not like 3 heaping packs. They're 3 very small
3
packs.
huge packs, and I
It's like
don't
2
eat
servings
it, so
per
they're
pack.
all for him.
They're all for me.
For 1 week.
They're all for me.
Okay, so I don't know. He eats some weird stuff, so I guess that's why he picks weird spice.
Well, we're both happy.
Okay.
There's the spice draft.
All right. Well, that's done. What do you think? Next, should we run through the listener question?
Yeah, I guess there's nothing more to talk about here. Let's go to the listener questions. I thought, yeah, that ended up pretty well.
So anyways, I don't know. Do you guys have any particular spices you love in your household? We
let us know who you think won the draft, okay? That's what we want to know. We'll post in the show notes.
We'd like to have a vote
side.
and see who wins.
Yeah, let's see what we can get on that. But we had our first listener question this week.
Yeah.
And so I thought that would be cool to get into that. Do you want to pull it open? I'll take this little monkey, and it's kind of. There's a few questions in there, but let's kind of break it down. And
yes. So this is about. This is like for romantic advice, and
right up my alley. This is perfect.
So a lot of people today are seeking connection, and they're trying to find true love, like a soulmate type. But how do you really know if it's a soulmate and someone that you can trust, or if it's just some sleazebag that's like hooking up with you,
Or sleazebag yet.
and then hooking up with other, you know,
For men.
we're in the days of Tinder and I don't even know the other dating websites. Didn't you used to be on one? So
MySpace. I tried to go on one, but I never went on a single date from one of those apps.
Yeah. So Tinder doesn't work. Okay.
It works for some people.
Maybe
but,
it does,
you know.
but I always feel like when you're specifically looking, somehow it just like doesn't come. But if you like plant the seed like in your head and you like dream about it and you think about it, like the universe recognizes that, and then when you're least expecting it, boom, the love of your life will walk into the room.
I'll tell you my thoughts on it, which are like, it's kind of in the same vein, but it's a little bit more, like less in the metaphysical, and kind of the way that plays out to me is like, you know, people put a lot of, society puts a lot of pressure on you that you should like go dating, you should go on the dating app, right? You should try to go out and meet people. But like, I don't hear as much like people giving like the advice, like you should like find what you love to do and go out and just do that. Like do what naturally you want to be doing, like activities you want to be doing and different types of like, whatever it is, books you want to be reading, places you want to be going. Don't necessarily do it to say like, oh, this is a place I should go to meet people. Say like, this is a place I want to go because I love this like way to spend my time.
Yeah, instead of like going on Tinder and jotting down, look, I love going to the dog park. Just go to the dog park with your dog and maybe you'll meet a hot guy at the dog park. Or say, oh, I love, you know, skiing. Go up skiing and maybe you'll meet someone else up there skiing. Or, you know, like we would have both put, we love music. We met everyone knows, at the School of Rock.
Everyone knows.
Well, most people know.
If you don't know that by now.
We met at the School of Rock.
It's like the dating apps aren't bad, but if you feel like it's not working for you, because dating apps are actually really good. You know, it's a good way to sort of sift down. You could find someone's similar interest, but if they're not working, I would say, is kind of index on what you love to do. Like for me, like before we met, I was like a recluse. I would spend like all day long in my studio apartment, like practicing guitar, reading, watching like movies that I liked, like watching documentaries about music, like studying, writing. And people are like, you should go out and try and like meet people. You should go on dates. And then eventually like this sort of like rabbit hole that I was going down led me to be like, oh, I want to join a rock band. I'll go to School of Rock. And then lo and behold, first day at School of Rock.
Guess who walked in?
And comes in Miss Nikki Rose with those tight white jeans and that red guitar.
Tight as right.
That red electric guitar. And, you know.
Well, when I first met him, he's not like the boisterous person you see on this podcast show. He was like quiet and almost a little bit like shaky. I thought he was kind of like
shaky.
Weird. He almost kind of
weird.
I actually at one point told the leader of the School of Rock that I thought he might be a serial killer.
I really appreciated that.
And somehow over time he grew on me.
Like a barnacle.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
And you know, it took someone, the watcher. What do you call it?
Viewer?
The viewer.
Listener?
The listener had mentioned in her question, like, how long does it take for someone like you who has a tough shell exterior, but yet is soft on the inside, to really trust, you know, and open up to a woman? Well, let me tell you, it took forever. We were friends for like 2 years, and I had no idea that he liked me.
And
I was completely clueless.
And I was after it from day one, and I just played a long time.
He says he knew from day one that he liked
But I was patient.
So he was patient. So my answer to that is, I think it really depends on the man. He's a Virgo.
I don't know if
Virgos are patient, and they will like become your friend and wait forever. I mean, if it's more of like an action-oriented sign, like an Aries or a Leo, they are more the type that will be aggressive, and they want to come to you, and they want to, like, you know, pounce on it right away. So I might need more information if you have a particular gentleman in mind. If you could let me know what sign they are, I could probably narrow down what you should do according to astrological stars and horoscopes and whatnot.
Yeah, I think that there's not like a general purpose, really. There's not like a general question, but I think really just listening, you know, inside to what what your body's telling you.
If you've known someone for a while and you've been friends, the long story of this is there's hope, because we were friends for 2 years before anything romantic happened. And then once it finally did, he finally, what did you finally, like, invite me over? Because he used to invite me over for barbecues and stuff. And then he invited me over for a barbecue. Mm-hmm. But I said, who else is going to be there? And he was like, oh, no one.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Whatever.
Yeah.
I went over there anyway. So it was like summertime and he lived on the lake. And I was like, I want to go swimming. Lo and behold, once we got alone, we had great conversation, and it all kind of took off from there. Of course, he got me a little bit tipsy.
Who got who tipsy? But
usually when relationships are developing, there's some sort of alcohol involved. But if you don't drink, that's fine too. You just might have an activity or something you guys have in common, like you go out and play bingo or video games or whatever it is that you do.
Well,
but alcohol is always, well, neither of us drink now, but back then it was a good icebreaker, you know.
Yeah, it was a great icebreaker. It was some of the best drinking
Loosen up a little bit after a couple glasses of wine. I'm not promoting drinking here, but I'm just saying, if you do have an occasional glass of wine here or there, you can try.
Everyone knows that. You're trying to hook up, get drunk. These are romantic advice.
Okay, so what else, though?
There was another piece to the question, I think. No, I think that was.
You didn't answer the question. How long did it take you to trust a girl?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even consciously think about, like, am I gonna open up and trust this person? I don't know.
How do you know? Okay, so she knows, like, what women think. Like, for women, we need an emotional connection.
Yeah.
You know, we can't just, like, have sex and then, like, feel nothing. Like, it's more special if there's an emotional connection.
Yeah.
But she wants to know, is the true same for men? Or are there men that, how do you know when you can trust a man?
How do I know when I can trust a man?
Yeah, no, you are a man.
Oh, that's good news.
I don't know if he knows, because he just happens to be a good one. You know, he's just a gentleman. It's the way he was raised.
That's
but
it. You heard it here
actually,
first.
I don't know if it was the way you were raised, because your brother may not be so gentleman.
He's a little more of a barbarian, that one.
I'm kidding. He's a gentleman, too.
He is.
No, usually...
He's a softie. You think I'm a softie? He's a softie. He's in touch.
Look,
okay?
I think what it is sometimes you do have to kiss a few frogs, and then eventually, like, a nice guy will come along. Sometimes... You can't always predict. Like, sometimes it's trial and error. You might think you really like a guy. You might think he really likes you. But then, you know...
There's no real advice. There's no real, there's no magical thing. I would only say, like, just listen to what's in your heart and don't overthink it in your head of what you should be doing or what other people say you should be doing.
I would say if he calls you to, like, check on you or asks you to, like, to get together during the daytime and do fun activities that you both like to do, and, you know, he's a gentleman and he offers to pay for things.
That doesn't mean that shit, offering to pay for
Yeah,
things.
our first date, first of all, I think I split the bill because he offered to pay, and I was like, no. You know, I'll pay my half, and I was expecting him to say, no, just let me get it, but he was like, oh, okay.
Wait.
And I kind of was like,
where was this? Where was this?
Oh, it was the night you almost broke my nose when we went out to the dinner, and then we went to a show.
Well, I didn't want to.
We went and saw our buddy Jim Marcotte.
Yeah.
Jim, if you're watching this, you were our first date.
Yeah.
We were watching your.
I didn't want to insist on paying because you seemed like it made you more comfortable to split it. So I was kind of,
Okay, well then don't always judge that, because obviously he really liked me and he let me split the tab.
I liked her so much that I elbowed her in the nose later on at the bar.
Yeah, he almost broke my nose. But
it was meant to be.
I would just say, if all the signs are pointing to, like, a few weeks go by, say you guys had a great date, or in your mind it's a great date, a few weeks go by and he hasn't reached out to you, or he's only calling you, like, late at night at odd hours, or... you just kind of get that gut feeling when something isn't quite right. Just listen to your intuition and you'll know.
Listen to your heart.
So if you have admiration, she has admiration for someone, but she doesn't know, if a man doesn't approach you, that means, you know, she should approach him. Does that mean he doesn't like her? I would say just because he doesn't approach you doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't like you, because he never approached me for 2 years. And all that time, he liked me. And I always invited myself over to his house. I said, look, well, we were working on music and stuff.
In the band.
Yeah. But, you know, I don't know. Any suggestions that...
There's no, I think the whole gender role thing of like, you gotta wait for like a man to make the first move and stuff, forget it, you know, who cares? Do what's in your heart, you know? If you have something and you want to say it, there's no harm. It takes a little bravery, but, and you know, if it's someone at work, maybe you want to be careful if you have to see them every day, but, you know, so I don't ever have any good advice, but I would say, like, don't worry about what you should do or what you're supposed to do according to, like, gender roles.
I would just say keep it, like, casual, like, invite the guy, you know, I wouldn't wait for him because maybe he's shy or maybe he has no idea that you like him. Maybe he has a secret crush on you too. Don't necessarily wait for him to ask you out, but you don't need to make it so obvious that it's like a crush and that you want to go on a date. Like, oh, hey, would you like to go on a romantic dinner with me? Like, don't do that. Make it something that he's not even sure if it's like a friendship thing. Like, oh, hey, do you want to go like grab a drink, like get a beer? Or hey, do you want to go get a coffee if you don't, you know, if you don't drink? You want to
go stand 6 feet apart with masks on and
yeah. Or hey, if you guys both have dogs, like, do you want to meet up at the dog park this weekend? You know, because nowadays, especially people, coworkers, people are friends, and just because you ask someone the opposite sex to hang out, as long as it's something like kind of neutral like that, doesn't necessarily mean. So I would just see if, you know, he wants to get together doing something like outside of the work setting. Because when people are at work, you know, they act a little bit different too. They feel like people are watching or they have eyes on, you know, on them. So ask him for like something neutral to get him outside the work setting. And then, you know, if he goes for that, you could kind of feel it out, like, you know, and if it doesn't seem like he's into you, then it just chalk it up to, okay, you know, I was just trying to hang with you as a friend, so you don't feel too rejected. But who knows, maybe once you guys get alone and you're outside the work setting, you really hit it off.
There you go.
But that way you're not really so committed where you're laying your heart on the line, but you can still have the opportunity to get in that setting outside of work where you kind of open up a little bit more.
Basically, the advice is go through his trash, okay? Find out his astrological sign, tell Nikki, and then she'll tell you exactly what to do.
Basically,
right?
if you give me the name, I could go find him on Facebook or Instagram or something.
I'll go dumpster dive.
I'll check his birthday. I'll find out his astrological sign.
Yeah, I'll go through
I'll tell you the best ways to approach him. I'll figure out what hobbies he likes.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just want to go through his trash, okay? I think that's pretty good. That was a good question.
I think especially if it's someone you work with, like, you know, men are probably like a little cautious, like even if he did have a secret crush on you, to like ask a coworker out. So I think the best thing to do, totally, just like, hey, do you want to go play some air hockey tonight? And
yeah. Air hockey is socially
distant.
It's
like a friend thing. That's what he used to do to me. Like, he'd have me come over for friend things. Like, hey, do you want to come write a song? And then, okay, that's harmless. He's my homie. We play in a band together. And then once he got me alone and we started talking, we realized,
I made some jokes.
He made some jokes, got me a little tipsy, and then realized,
you got yourself tipsy,
there's a little chemistry here.
I don't think it was shoving any balls.
I guess I was the one clocking down the dock in my 4-inch heels so all your neighbors could hear, and then with 2 bottles of wine in my hand every Friday night.
Yeah. But, yeah. Hey.
They were just happy to see that he had some sort of female showing up at his house because he lives next door to quite a few old people. And, you know, like a year or 2 had gone by and they hadn't seen a single soul coming in and out of that house. They were starting to get a little worried that they were living next to some weirdo, like serial killer.
The only time my next door neighbor texted me, she said, hey, I think we saw like a strange woman over the other night with a winky face.
A winky face?
Yeah,
oh, God.
The only time.
That's the one... You know,
right,
thing about living on the lake is great and all, but the neighbors, they know everything.
They know everything. But,
I'm not sure what that meant.
It was a strange woman. very strange. I should have told them to call the police next time they saw her.
Well, I think one of your neighbors had told me they thought you were very strange because they'd see you like jumping in the lake in the middle of winter, like at 6 in the morning, like very odd.
I feel that was weird.
They were very
worried
that there was a very strange man living next to them.
They probably thought I was a serial killer too.
Then,
that's the first
once
impression
I showed up, they said, "Oh, he is normal after all."
Yeah, they kind of, you know, they
started loosening up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's, about wraps up that question. If any other viewers have any questions or if we need to follow up and go into more detail about this question, email us this week. Let us
you
know.
can hit us up. Our email is riseup@goodbaby.band. You can email the show with anything you want. Just rise up, one word, and we'll put it in the notes of the show. Or, reach out to us the usual ways, because if you're watching this, you probably know us. And, you could message us. You can leave a comment on the video or on SoundCloud, whatever it is.
More than likely, we're just lurking around doing weird things, so,
It's more than
we're
likely.
very happy to help.
Very
It's
happy.
the highlight of our day.
Absolutely.
I think that's it. So stay tuned next week.
Yep.
Next week, we're going to go over some very specific topics on whether when you become a mother or father, whether you should cater and basically sacrifice your life for your children, or whether you should continue to go out and thrive and follow your dreams and set that example for your children. And a couple of other things along those lines. We'll keep them a surprise for now, but
Sounds good.
that's about it.
Is that a wrap for this week? 30 minutes?
Yep, that's a wrap.
Okay.
Now, stay away from my spice, okay?
Hey, I don't want any of that shit. I got enough garlic to
I have
last
to put
me
an
like
alarm on this. If I hear you in there rustling around the cupboard, that's it. Either
I
mine.
don't want any good spice. All right.